Good morning, friends. Welcome to GoOnlineTrainings.com. From today, next 1 week, we are going to talk about data warehousing concepts. People who are learning MSBA or Power BI. People who are learning MSBA or Power BI, compulsorily they have to know data warehousing concepts very well, right? So maximum, 6 to 7 classes will be there, and all these classes are going to be recorded and will get uploaded to the knowledge.com so that you can view the latest videos from there. Okay, so make sure that you attend regular classes. If you don't have time, so at least you watch the videos. Next batch of data warehousing may be in the month of February. If you miss this, you don't we don't have any other classes in the month of January. So make sure you watch it. If you don't have it, uh, at least you get the videos and complete the stuff. Okay, it's very important, guys. Right now, what is a data warehouse and why data warehousing is important? How can we create a data warehouse from scratch? What is OLTP? What is OLAP? All these things we're going to discuss one by one. Right? So BA application architecture, history of data warehousing. What is a data warehouse? What is a data mart? Data warehouses versus data mart. So what is OLTP versus OLAP? Top-down approach and bottom-up approach. All these things we're going to discuss one by one from today. Okay. So data warehouse concepts are very important, guys. Whenever you go to any interview, you will be asked with a lot of questions in the data warehousing concept. Okay. What is a dimension table? What is a star? What is a star schema? What is a snowflake schema? What is a normalization? What is a denormalization? And a lot of things, right? So lot of questions are going to come. What is a role playing dimension? What is slowly changing dimension? What is rapidly changing dimension? Right? So a lot of questions are going to come from from interview angle. So people who are learning Power BA or MS BA, compulsorily you must learn, you know, data warehousing concept without fail, right? So in other institutions, they're not going to teach Power BI, the data warehousing concepts for 1 week. They may take 1 hour of data warehousing. So when you compare with our teaching with, somebody else's teaching, they'll have maximum of 1 class for data warehousing. That's it, not more than that. But if you see here, we'll understand from very basic level to advanced level, right? So let us understand all these things one by one, right? So we knew that a company has a lot of data. A company has a lot of data in the form of files, right? So you may have data in the files, or you may have data in the databases called SQL, or you may have a data in any images, or this one, that one. You may have data anywhere, right? All the data has to be centralized, right? So what normally we do, for example, think about you have Amazon.com, or you have think about a company called Flipkart.com, or think about a company called State Bank of India. Any company doesn't have all the data in the single location, and no company will have only one application. So they have some data in SAP. Think about Citibank.com. Think about Amazon.com. Think about Flipkart.com. Think about Netflix.com. They don't have all the data in single application and single premises, right? So think about Amazon.com. They have data in different applications, right? This data may be in India. I'm talking about Amazon.com. This data may be available in US. They have a call center maybe in Dubai. All the call center of Amazon data is going to be loaded into the Excel data. All this data is decentralized. This data belong to Amazon company. What normally we do? We are going to be getting the data from here, getting the data from here, getting the data from here with the help of a ETL software. What is the ETL software that we're going to be using? we are going to use ETL SSIS. That is the software the Microsoft is, giving to us. So with the help of SSIS, right? So when you know MSBA, MSBA is a software and which is released in 2005 by Microsoft. In this, we have a software called SSIS, right? And there's a software called SSAS, the software called SSRS. These are the three tools, right? So SSIS and SSAS and SSRS. And these three tools are called as Microsoft Business Intelligence, which is started in year 2005, which is a purely ETL tool, extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. This is analysis services software. Analysis service software. In this, we have again two things. One is called tabular model cube, right? And we have multi-dimensional model cube, okay? Multi-dimensional model cube. So we have two things, and SSRS where we have reporting software, right? So instead of a SSRS today, people are going for Power BI. Clear? So if you wanted to learn Power BI, you have to know SSIS very well, SSAS, especially a tabular model cube, you have to know very well. Instead of SSRS, you people have to learn Power BI. Along with this, you should also know data warehousing concepts. Plus, MSBI or Power BI, along with that, you should also learn what SQL Server. So, these are the courses that you have to study very well in order to learn MSBI or Power BI. So MSBI we are learning instead of SSRS, we are going to be learning Power BI. SSAS tabular model we are going to be learning. SSIS is also compulsory, and SQL Server we are going to be learning, right? So now what is SSIS? SSIS is a ETL software which is going to be extracting the data from different sources, and all the data is going to be loaded initially where a server. This server is called as a staging server. Staging అంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? Staging means temporary. It is not permanent, which is a temporary server. So how this temporary server is going to be built? So which is a RDBMS server, which is SQL, software. SQL means Oracle SQL Server software. DB2, any software which will get installed. So what is that we're going to be doing here? We are going to be cleansing the data. Data cleaning is going to be going on in the staging server. So if you have a duplicates, remove the dupe data, right? If you have wrong values, correct the misspelled data. అర్థమవుతుందా? Misspelled data, convert the data if it is needed, or merge the data or split the data, whatever you wanted to do. All these things are part of the data cleaning purpose anamata. Clear? We go to the shop, we get the vegetables, okay? You go to shop number 1, you get some vegetables. You go to shop number 2, you get the vegetables. You go to the shop number 3, you get the vegetables. All the vegetables you're dumping into one bag, right? So after coming to home, what will you do? You are going to be cleaning the vegetables. Some vegetables you are going to be cleaning it with the water. Some vegetables you cut them. Half of the vegetable is completely bad. You are going to be cutting and throwing off of the vegetable, right? Some of the vegetables maybe you soak it into the salt water. Some of the vegetables you may be putting into one more cover. Like that, lot of things you do it. So the cleaned vegetables you're going to be taking from here, and with the help of one more ETL, all the data from the staging server, it is going to be loaded into which one? Data warehousing server. So this is what the data warehousing concept is going to start. అర్థమవుతుందా? So if you wanted to get the data into the data warehousing, what are the applications that you need to have? So you have to use an application called ETL, then only data warehouse can be created. Data warehouse is a single word. Warehouse, it is not a double word. So data space warehouse. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఇలా రాయకూడదు. Data space warehouse. Where space house, you should not write like this. Warehouse is a single word. What is this server? This server is also SQL or a database server. Clear? So always what normally we're going to be doing, we are going to get the data from the company. So a company is going to be having large amount of data in different servers. These servers are called as OLTP servers. You think about Amazon.com. Amazon is going to be having a server called OLTP server. OLTP means what? So which is online transaction processing, and all the data from OLTP, it is going to go to data warehousing server. So this is what is called as OLAP server. అర్థమవుతుందా? You have two types of servers which are available, and one server is called as OLTP server. OLTP means we know online transaction processing. అర్థమవుతుందా? One more server that you have to know, that server is called as OLAP server. Okay, OLAP ante online analytical processing. So ప్రపంచంలో in this world you have two types of server. One is called online transaction server. The second server is called online analytical server. అర్థమవుతుందా? So OLTP means what? OLTP means daily transactions. For example, I wanted to buy a mobile phone. What I do? I go to Amazon.com, or I go to my mobile phone, Android mobile phone I'm using, Android app, I have to install it. I should be able to simply go to Amazon.com. I will be able to buy a mobile phone, right? So I wanted to go to a mobile phone. I wanted to buy a mobile phone. If you wanted to buy a mobile phone of Redmi company, so what will happen? All the data, whenever you make a payment or whenever you click on anything here, whenever you register the first time in the company, in this company, all the data is going to go to one server. If I'm in India, so I'm using my laptop, this is my laptop, I'm going to be establishing a connection to this server that I don't know. I may be using, this may be SAP site, this is a website, maybe created with the help of SAP or a Java or .NET, I don't know. Simply I click, I buy something, all the data is going to go to this server, right? So regularly people are going to buy product by product. Okay, guys. So whenever you buy any product, you are going to be connecting to one of these servers. These are called OLTP servers, where the fresh data is going to come. Already you know these points because many times we discussed, but once again I'm going to be discussing about this point. Fresh data, wherever you have a fresh data, that is called as OLTP server, and you have read and write data. Most of the time, 80% of the time we are going to be getting writing data into the computers, and more normalized data. This is very important point. As part of data warehousing, I'm going to be discussing about OLTP. I'm going to be discussing about normalization, and you will have less indexes. What are the indexes? You will be able to learn as part of index classes of SQL Server. More normalization concept is implemented in OLTP. Less indexes, more users are connected. So me, my brother, my wife, you, everybody is going to be connecting to the Amazon site. Morning to evening we are buying the products. Okay, so all the data whatever we give, that is a fresh data only. Clear? So in the OLAP is also called as data warehousing. What kind of a data it is going to go? When the servers are full here, all the data we're going to be taking from this, and we're going to be cleaning the data here, and we are going to be loading the data into the data warehousing. It is not the fresh data, which is the historical data. Ante kada? So old data is going to go here, and which is read-only data. Remember this, which is completely historical data, old data covered it is read-only data, which is a denormalized data. What is a normalization? You don't know. I don't know. We'll discuss about it later. Very, very important interview concept. What is a normalization? What is a denormalization? You will have more indexes. Talk about indexes means you have to watch my SQL Server indexes classes. And who's going to be using this? These are always end users. End users ante people who are not, connected to the business. Okay, you are not working for Amazon.com, you are an end user. But I am working in a Amazon.com as a manager. So I am called as a business user. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో మై వైఫ్ ఈజ్ నాట్ వర్కింగ్ ఫర్ Amazon.com, షీ ఈస్ ఎండ్ యూజర్. బట్ ఐ ఆమ్ వర్కింగ్ ఇన్ Amazon.com యాజ్ ఎ మేనేజర్, ఐఎమ్ ఏ బిజినెస్ యూజర్. ఓకే, సో దర్ ఇస్ అ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ఎండ్ యూజర్. ఎండ్ యూజర్ అంటే హీజ్ ఏ he's not going to be working in that company. For example, you may be working for ICICIbank.com, you're a business user. But your father is not working for ICICI Bank, is an end user to the ICICI Bank. What is the meaning? He can come to the bank, open an account, so that is connected to the ICICI Bank. But still, your father cannot go to ICICI Bank and do lot of reporting. He cannot do however you are doing. Since you are a manager in the company, you can create lot of reports. You can work with the bank. You can see lot of sales reports. But your father cannot see. Why? Because your father is an end user. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో end users means they don't work for the company. They're simply connected because they wanted to use their application. ICICI Bank application, father is using. Why? He is a customer to the ICICI Bank. But you are a business user. Why? You're working for ICICI Bank. అర్థమవుతుందా? So that is the difference between business user and end user. So thousands of people who are connecting or buying the product, all the data is going to go to this. But one day these are full. When the servers are full, what we're going to be doing? All the data we're going to take it from here. We are going to be keeping into initially we're going to keeping into the staging server, which is a temporary server where we do the cleaning. For example, every month you're getting 500 GB of data. All the 500 GB of data will go to the staging server first. Okay, but they may be cleaning it. So 455 GB or 450 GB of data is a cleaned data comes here. Bad data is going to go back to the out of the staging. So 50 GB of data will come out. Clear? So always we dump as it is the data from the source to the staging server. 500 GB means complete data will go to the staging. From the staging, the data will get converted. Good data, bad data. Good data will go to data warehousing server. Bad data will go to again to the client, or you may remove the data. So like that, staging server where you're going to be filtering, cleaning, lot of things are going to be happening, and all the data end of the day it is going to go. You assume that these are some water sources. You wanted to get the water to one more place. What you do? You are going to be using a motor pumps, right? You think about Hyderabad, Telangana government wanted to get the water. So they're getting the water from Godavari and they're getting data from Krishna, Penna. So they have Manjira, all the sources. These are rivers in India, right? In Hyderabad, in Telangana, they are going to be getting the water from here, water from here, water from here. All the data with the help of a motor pump, it is going to be dumping into big reservoir where they're going to be cleaning. The cleaned water again with the help of one more motor pump, it is going to go to one more reservoir. So the reservoir data, it is a cleaned water. So data warehousing means a reservoir. You can think like that. It is a bigger tank where you can store large amount of cleaned data, cleaned water. But to get the water, you need to have a bigger pumps. Clear? So ETLs stands for a motor pump or a water pump. Clear? So ETLs are called as, data importing, exporting softwares. From one place to another place, you get the data, you dumping into one more server, you do the cleaning here. This is one more reservoir, one more tank where you could do the cleaning. Cleaned water, you have to send it to one more pump, means you need to have a motor pump in between, right? So in between we have a motor pumps. So using that, you should be able to send the cleaned water into the data warehousing like that day by day, daily the water is going to go to the data warehousing. So data warehouse will have today's water, yesterday's water, last month water. It is going to be preserving all the data into the data warehouse. Warehouse ante English lo go down. Warehouse means what in English? It is a go down. Go down means which is a large in size. Clear? How the data warehouse can be created? I told you, if I take a laptop, my laptop, and the capacity 4 GB of RAM, 1 terabyte of hard disk, right? So maximum, if I install SQL Server or Oracle, 1 terabyte of data I can accommodate. Why? Capacity of hard disk is 1 terabyte. But if I buy a bigger hardware, 100 terabyte of hard disk and 1000 GB of RAM, and more processors are installed and working, if I install SQL Server or Oracle, you will be able to accommodate a large amount of data. So every month you are putting 500 GB of data, 500 GB into 500 GB into, you assume everything is clean data. 500 GB into 12 months data, it is approximately 6 terabytes of data per year. Into 10 years of data, 60 terabytes of data into your data warehousing. Clear? So data warehouse means a large hardware. అర్థమవుతుంది లేమ్యాన్ టెర్మినాలజీస్ లో పెద్ద హార్డ్వేర్. అందులో వాట్ ఈస్ ద సాఫ్ట్వేర్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి హ్యావింగ్? ద సాఫ్ట్వేర్ మే బి ఆరకిల్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్, ఎస్క్యూఎల్ సర్వర్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ is running. Since it is a big amount of hardware, we can accommodate the data in the terabytes. అర్థమవుతుందా? When we have OLTP will have data in the GBs. When it is full, this data once in a month or once in a quarter or once in a week, the data is going to come to the data warehousing. I told you one simple example, right? So daily you are going to be getting a water where in the street, so you don't have water available in your apartment, you are collecting the water from the street taps. So daily you take the bucket and go to the street. Morning 6 o'clock water comes, you are collecting the fresh water. So but the bucket size is only 30 liter. So this is your bucket. I told you, right? So this is your bucket. You are going to be collecting the water. The bucket is full. You take one more bucket that is also full. This is one more type of the bucket. When the bucket is full, what you do? You take the water. You have a drum here. You have a drum. This is what is called data warehousing. You're going to be getting the water and putting the water into the drum. Okay. Then again you come back. So this is empty bucket. This is empty bucket. This is empty bucket. Again, you're getting the fresh water. And this time, again, this bucket is full. This bucket is full. This bucket is full. Then what you do? You take all the water. You're going to be putting into this drum. So the drum is going to be having daily water, and the fresh water is going to be collected in your buckets. So OLTP always a buckets, small in size, fresh water will be there, and OLAP is a drum or the tank, large in size. Old water also is going to be there. So daily manually shifting is so painful. Somebody told you to buy a motor pump. So this is what is called a motor pump. You're giving a connection to this and this, and the connection is this. All the water is going to come to this. So when you switch on this motor, one day your mother told this water is not so clean. Now you have got one more drum or the tank. That is what is this. So initial water you're going to be dumping into this drum, this tank, where you do the cleaning. The cleaned water with the help of this motor pump from here to here, it is going to go there. So ETLs are nothing but motor pumps. It is going to be exporting the data from one place to another. The buckets where the fresh data is going to be collected, these are small in sizes, but we will not be able to store the complete data. So why can't we put, instead of a bucket, why can't we put a drum itself then there? So when you put the drum, picking and lifting the drum is very very difficult, right? So you may think, I don't want to take the bucket, I will take the drum or the tank to the tap. So can we carry the tank and drum? It is impossible. So however, always we get the water in the buckets and dump it into the data warehousing. So always using OLTP applications only, we are going to be creating a data warehousing. Clear? So what is a data warehouse? Means a data warehouse is a bigger server where RDBMS software is going to be running. So we are going to be dumping the data. How the data is going to come? The data is going to come using ETL packages. So what are the ETL? ETL means extracting the data, transforming the data, loading the data. So data warehouse means one more RDBMS or one more database only. Remember that point. Clear? So we are going to be keeping the data here, and once the data is there for 10 years of data, we are going to analyze the data. For the analysis purpose, we are going to use SSAS. We may get the data from here, and with the help of SSAS, the SSAS is going to be processing the data. I told you I have a 10 here, I have a 10, and I have a 20 here. So 10 plus 20 is how much? It is 30, right? If I wanted to process, I need to get the sum operation. I would like to do the sum operation. I will be able to do the summing with the help of one more application called SSAS, where we create a cube. So if you have only two numbers, it is very easy. If you have 2 billion data, summing is very, very costly operation, or finding average is very, very costly operation. అర్థమవుతుందా? So processing means doing aggregations. Aggregations అంటే sum, min, max, average, all these things are going to be done with the help of cubes only. So data warehouse. Warehouse means go down. Data warehouse where we are going to store the data. Data warehouse లో డేటా స్టోర్ మాత్రమే అవుతుంది. సో SSAS where you're going to be processing the data. Clear? Remember that point. So you have a chef. Chef is preparing the food. You have a waiter. Waiter is serving the food. Okay, chef is also can prepare a food. Chef also can serve the food. But the problem, chef has to do lot of things, right? When you have more and more data, and a chef is preparing the food, more and more customers in the hotel, one guy is preparing the food, serving it to the customer, cleaning, taking the bill, means he'll go mad. So what will create? We'll create lot of departments. One guy called chef department is going to be keeping the food. One more department called waiter department, they're going to be collecting the they're serving the food. One more department called accounts department, we're collecting the amount. One more department called housekeeping department, we're cleaning the rooms and tables. So you have four things are going to be done separately. Like that, when you have so much of a data warehousing also can process. So chef also can prepare the food, can serve. Mother is preparing the food and serving you. But same mother, when the 1,000 people comes to your home, can she do it? No, she will not be able to do it. So there is a cooking chef department, cooking department. There is a waiter department, serving department. Two departments are going to be happening. So we have two departments. One department is called data warehousing, where you have a large amount of data, historical data is stored. One more department called cubing or called SSAS, where that application is going to be aggregating the data, aggregating and the sum total sales. What is the total sales of Amazon.com last 10 years? Not last 10 years of data, too much of a data, right? The data, so data warehouse cannot process it. Data warehouse will give the data to the SSAS application, which is going to be processing. Processing అంటే simply a summing operation అనుకోండి మీరు. Summing అంటే కూరడం. అర్థమవుతుందా? I want to take millions of data that I have to sum it. It is not a simple activity, right? Distributing the food for 1,000 people, is it very easy task? Making the food for 1,000 people, is it very easy task? It is not very easy. One guy, that guy is called chef. Chef is going to be preparing the food. One more guy is called steward or a waiter. He is going to be serving the food. అర్థమవుతుందా? So there are two departments here. One guy is making the food, storing the food. So this is a go down where the data is available. So this guy is going to be doing what? processing. So after that is one more guy. That guy is going to be displaying the reports. Okay, you have one more department. This department, doing the decoration of the food, garnishing అంటాం కదా, neat గా food ని garnish చేసి is going to be displaying the food. This is what is called reporting. SSRS, Power BI. You get the cooked, cooking department is data warehousing, and this guy is processing. You can is a steward department. This guy is, you can say, one more department where they're getting the data and garnishing the data. So different departments will have different things to do that, right? So end of the day, the end user is going to come and see the data here, right? So OLTP application means fresh data being collected. OLAP means we're talking about storing data warehousing plus SSAS. Both of them are called OLAP. Data warehousing and storing the data, processing the data with the help of a cube. So this is what is called OLAP or data warehousing departments. Clear? So what is a data warehouse and who invented this kind of a practice? So this invented by one guy. The guy is called Mr. William H. Inman. Okay. Father of the data warehouse. So data warehouse is invented in 1980s by William H. Inman. And in 1990, Ralph Kimball modified some changes to the data warehousing concept. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో డేటా వేర్ హౌస్ అంటే గో డౌన్. ఓకే, so data warehouse means store the large amount of data in a computer. But which software? Normally, we are going to be storing large amount of data in the SQL software, RDBMS software. So data warehouse lo ఏ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఉంటుంది? RDBMS software. That means what? Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, Teradata, all these softwares are there. But the bigger hardware will be there. అర్థమవుతుందా? In my laptop, if I install SQL Server, maximum 1 terabyte of hard disk I have. When you open my hard disk, now see what is the capacity. This PC look వెళ్తే I have this much of a space, this much of a space, this much of a space, this much of a space. If I store maximum 1 terabyte of data I can store. But I wanted to store 10 terabytes of data, 20 terabytes of data. So which applications? So I need to buy a bigger hardware, install SQL Server or Oracle. So in that I have to create a database. The database is called Amazon Data Warehousing. అర్థమవుతుందా? So you have large amount of data to be stored where? In the bigger machine. Which machine? A warehouse machine. So you need to buy bigger hardware, install Oracle, it will become a Oracle data warehousing server. If you install SQL Server, it will become, say, SQL Server data warehousing server. So RDBMS ante we are going to create a database. Clear? So data warehouse is also one more database only. Remember this point. Data warehouse is also one more database only, but which is a large database, and it is going to be storing large amount of data, historical data. OLTP also one more database only. Data and దేంట్లో store అవుతుంది maximum time. Data is going to be storing in the databases only. SAP cannot store the data. SAP is going to store the data in the database. Like that, .NET cannot store the data. .NET data is going to be stored in one more database. So maximum time OLTP ante small database, read and write a database. Data warehouse ante large database, historical database, read-only database. So that is what you need to understand. Clear? So whenever you open, you will be able to find two types of databases. Let me open my SQL Server. This is my SQL Server. You can see two databases. One is called Amazon database. So this is OLTP database. You have Amazon data warehousing database, which is also one more data warehousing database. So database కాబట్టి ఏముంటాయి? టేబుల్స్ ఉంటాయి, ప్రైమరీ కీస్, ఫారెన్ కీస్, ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఉంటాయి. అర్థమవుతుంది? The same thing is also available here. So what is a data warehouse? Data warehouse is a RDBMS database only. So this is a read and write database. This is a read-only database. Clear? So you have to remember one point. You have to remember one point. So OLTP database, this is OLTP database. This is available in one server. Okay. And you have a staging. Have you seen Amazon staging and Amazon data warehouse? These two are available in one more computer. So This computer is called as OLTP computer, where you have a fresh data. This computer is called as OLAP computer, or called as a data warehousing computer. Clear? So you have two machines. So this OLTP machine, your websites, okay, end users are going to be connected to this machine only, and they are going to be buying the product and products. All the data from OLTP to OLAP is going to come via SSIS or via ETL. Clear? So always you need to understand OLTP means a database where the end users are going to be connecting via Java, .NET. All the data is going to go there, and it is going to be stored. But data warehousing data, it is not going to come on the daily basis, once in a month, once in a week, or once in a day. All the data from OLTP to OLAP is going to come. So every minute we are not going to take the bucket, right? When the bucket is full, you are going to be lifting the bucket and putting the water into the drum, not every second, right? So OLTP will have the data once in a month, or once in a 2 months, or once in a quarter, once in a 5 days, or once in 10 days. The data is lifted from OLTP to OLAP. How? With the help of a ETL. What is ETL? ETLs are nothing but data importing, exporting softwares. So in your body also you have a ETL. What is a ETL? Your heart. Heart is pumping the blood from one place to another. So heart is also one more ETL software in your body. Clear? So kidney, where the staging, all the kidney is going to be filtering the unwanted things. The unwanted things are going to go out, right? The cleaned water, the cleaned blood is going to be rotating in your body. So you have a kidney, that is what is called staging. All the unwanted data will get filtered over there, right? You're pumping, your heart is a pumping, it's going to be pumping the blood from all the body, right? So what is the ETL means? Simply data importing and exporting software. What is a data warehouse? Warehouse means a large database where you are going to be storing a large amount of historical data. So all these things you need to understand. So one guy called Dr. H. Inman, that is the guy, in 1980, he told, when the bucket is full, you have to have a drum also. Don't buy one more bucket. You buy a drum. So you get the water, you dump into the drum, so that the capacity is more for the drum. You have a 30-liter capacity of OLTP, but you have a 5,000 liters of a drum or the tank. Clear? That is what is the point. Are you clear? So these are very, very interesting points and very, very important points that you have to know. Now, according to William Enman, what is the abbreviation? Data warehouse is a subject-oriented data, integrated data, non-volatile data, time-variant data. Clear? According to Enman, I told you data warehouse means large database. That is a layman point of view. But according to him, William Enman, data warehouse ante subject oriented data, integrated data, non-volatile data. He's saying you get the data, but you don't dump the data as it is. For example, I am going to be creating a folder. I am going to be creating a folder where? In my D drive. So what is the folder name? Folder name is called songs folder. I'm going to be creating songs. I'm getting all the songs, Indian songs, Michael Jackson songs, Hindi songs, melody, Pakistani, African, all the songs I'm going to be dumping. And I'm saying, this is my songs data warehousing. But what Microsoft, what Inman says, don't do like that. You have to separate them. So create a subgroups. So what you do, you create a folder Hindi songs. You create one more folder. You create one more folder English songs. అర్థమవుతుందా? You don't dump as it is. You are going to be creating a subfolder and you're going to be keeping the songs like this. So this is the concept is going to be telling. You never create data. For example, you think about Amazon.com. Amazon has a lot of data. Amazon has employee data, Amazon has sales data, Amazon has inventory data, Amazon has expenses data. You think about banking, banking will have a loans data, banking will have a credit card data, banking will have a mutual funds data, banking will have a share market data. Don't take all the data and dump it as it is. That is wrong. So you get the data from banking and you perform ETL operations. That is fine. You're doing SSIS or ETL operations. You're getting the data. How you're dumping all the data, you dump in between. You have a data warehouse. I'm not drawing that. So you dump the data into the data warehousing according to how you create a subfolder. Okay. So this is what is called loans data. This is what is called credit card data. You're going to be dividing. Don't combine the data. Credit card data, loans data, mutual funds data. So this is a bank data warehouse. Let us say Indian Bank. Okay, Indian Bank data warehousing, and these are called Indian Bank. Small databases. Okay, now these are OLTP, right? Now this is a data warehouse. Data warehouse will have a two folders. This is what is called a data mart. అర్థమవుతుందా? So what is a data mart? Data mart means subset of data is called as a data mart. So this is one more data mart. This data mart is going to be storing credit card data. This data mart is storing loans data. So according to that, songs is a data warehousing, but it is going to be storing Hindi songs data, English songs data. These two together, collection of data marts is called a data warehouse. So people may ask you, what is a data mart? And it is going to be organizing the data like this. Clear? Don't dump the data as it is. You divide the data. Why we are going to be dividing? Tomorrow, if you wanted to play only English songs, it is easy. Tomorrow, I wanted to play Hindi song. That is easy. If you separate it, if you don't separate it, it is very difficult to play or to use the data. So always subject oriented data, you group them. That group is called as a data mart. So collection of data marts is called as a data warehousing. Okay, that is the point. You may create a different groups. I may say Ilayaraja dot Michael Jackson songs, Ilayaraja songs like that. A artist wise, or I can say India songs and America songs, country wise, or I can say Hindi songs, English songs, language wise, right? So you can create different groups. That is what is called subject oriented. 1980 songs, 1990 songs, time wise grouping. So any group you do, the subgrouping is called a data mart. So data warehouse is going to be always going to be having a data mart. Data mart is always going to collect a subject oriented data. Data warehouse is nothing but collection of data marts. అర్థమవుతుందా? So this is very important point. Okay, data mart is a subject oriented. Data warehouse is a collection of data marts. Data warehouse is superset of data mart. Data mart is also one more database. Now I go to SQL Server. How do I create? For example, instead of creating Amazon, a single data warehouse and store all the data, people may create like this. Create a database, Amazon, let us say sales data mart, which is a database only. Create. So which is going to be creating a data mart, it is going to be storing the sales data. So data mart, completely sales data. So now I'm going to be using one more, this one inventory. అర్థమవుతుందా? Inventory, I'm going to be creating one more. So I'm going to be having inventory data. This is a data mart. Now I am going to be creating Amazon HR data, completely employees data and their salaries and expenses like that. I have a three databases. So what is a data warehouse now? This database plus this database plus this database. I don't use this. This is not a, I don't want to use this. Let me delete it. అర్థమవుతుందా? Now I don't have a data warehouse like this. I'm going to be having a three data marts. These three data marts are nothing but put together is called as a data warehouse. I don't have a separate a data warehouse. I have only data mart. So data mart means which is a small subset of a data. Clear? So I'm not able to delete it. So sometimes you don't see the data warehouse. Sometimes you will see a databases like this. So which are going to be connecting, storing only one type of data, one subject data. So data mart is always a small database, but still read-only database. Data warehouse means now these three databases are called as a data warehouse for you. You don't have a special data warehouse database. Clear? So now when you go to songs folder, songs is doesn't have anything. Songs is nothing but this plus this. That is what is called a songs. Songs is a dummy folder or a root level folder. So that is a data warehouse. Songs is a data warehousing, and English songs is a data mart, and Hindi songs is one more data mart. Data mart means subject oriented. అర్థమవుతుందా? So data warehouse is also one more database. Data mart is also one more database. So folder is also a folder. Subfolder is also one more folder. Clear? Both of them are folder only. But why it is a subfolder? Because it is inside the main folder. So the main folder is called as a data warehousing. Subfolder is called as a data mart. Clear? So that is how you should be able to understand. Now all the data from different sources will go to uh, uh, you know will go to loans folder, will go to credit card data mart, sales data mart. So that is the second point. You create like that. Now integrate means get the data from different sources and dump into loans. Data should go to loans data mart. This data should go to sales data should go to sales data mart. Non volatile means read only. It is historical data, nobody should modify it. The last one, different time data. Time variance data ante different time data. So either a data mart or data warehouse. These are the four things that you need to have it. Am I clear, guys? So it is very important, interesting topic. What is a data warehouse means? Data warehouse will have a collection of data marts. Data mart is subject oriented, where you get the data from different sources. All the loans data will go here. All the insurance data is going to go here. All the credit card data is going to go here. These are different databases. Clear? So collection of data marts are called as a data warehouse. Data warehouse or data mart means database, which is a large amount of data, historical data. That is what you need to say. Okay. So tomorrow we'll talk about a few more things. Now, data warehouse means it is a centralized large database. It stores integrated, summarized, and historical data for analysis and decision making purpose. So we'll discuss about this one. OLTP, OLAP already we discussed, and we'll also continue further. Clear? So it is very interesting point. Who is the father of data warehousing? Father of data warehousing is Dr. Enman. According to the Dr. Enman, which is a large database, and you can also create a subset of data into the data marts. Data marts are subset, subject oriented data. Small set of data can be grouped together. So this is how the abbreviation is given by Dr. William Enman. Ralph Kimball has modified lot of things to the his concept. So Ralph Kimball became so popular afterwards. Okay, so data warehousing, there are two theory now in the market. One is called the Kimball theory. The second one is called William Enman theory. So 20% of the companies are using Enman approach. 80% of the IT companies are using Kimball approach. Tomorrow we'll discuss what is the big difference between data warehousing given by William Henman, data warehouse, modeled or changed by Dr. Kimball. So data warehouse is now in two varieties. One is called Inman data warehouse. The second data warehouse is called as a Kimball's data warehouse. We'll see the difference in tomorrow's class. Thank you guys. Any questions?